Alright. Alright. I'm ready.
Okay. How are you, Coop? How's Uganda?
Uh, it's hot. No,
Mm-hmm.
it was super overcast and cloudy,
Uh,
so
Same.
that worked for me. It's like my favorite kind of weather.
It's been downpouring here in good old Pennsylvania. Um,
Really?
yeah.
Is it still like hot as balls, like everywhere, or
Yeah, it's
no?
muggy and rainy, but it's also
Isn't that
warm.
just like the best, dude?
Yeah. We have an announcement towards the end of the podcast. We also will have timestamps of both of our episodes and links to social media, as well as the links to the different platforms in the description. So you should check that out. That way you can see all the different stuff and all the different platforms that the podcast is on. And I just wanted to get that out of the
I
way.
will do that then,
Yeah.
just for you.
Please do. uh, I have some good boy news. The best good boy news I think ever. That is, I have an update about the Kyoto Animation fundraiser as well as the fire. Apparently, after the tragedy that happened, the company is able to recover their digital IP. So, not everything is lost. And they're not really sure how much they can recover, but it's looking like most of it. And
I
then,
mean, that's pretty good.
yeah,
Pretty good news.
that's the best possible news in this situation. And the fundraiser from Sentai Filmworks, which has raised more than $2 million for the company.
2
Which
million.
2 million, which is just so phenomenal that a community could pull together and do that for them in their time of need. As well, the country of Japan is considering giving the company some tax breaks and stuff. So there's been
Considering. Ooh, look at that. Wow. Slow down, Japan.
right. Well, I
I
mean,
mean, like, their entire event is literally a tax write-off.
right.
Mm. But
They're
I'm really excited that the community was able to pull through and kind of unite under that and contribute so much money.
yeah. I agree. It is phenomenal. I was really overjoyed to hear the good news, given the circumstances. It's actually just so refreshing in that, in the midst of all the bad news from that event. And speaking of anime, I'd like to give my anime and music recommendations. I've been watching a bunch of shows recently, and I think it's really cool when another animation studio is willing to edit their currently airing show in respect to Kyoto Animation. There's an anime called Fire Force, and it's an anime about firefighters, but obviously there's some wacky premise to it. But apparently they had stopped the show airing and edited the flames on a certain episode out of respect for Kyoto Animation's, tragedy. So I would recommend watching Fire Force. That seems to be a very respectful studio behind it, as well as the animation is phenomenal and the story is crazy and awesome. So check that out. And my music recommendation, which I thought I had up. Because last week I did Coletta, and then this week Sully. Yeah, Sully. So there is a solo artist named Sully. That is Sullii, I believe. He is a solo artist in, I believe, the UK, and he makes good old sad boy R&B, and it's really good. I I recommend you check it out if you're into R&B, or kind of like it's like Lil Peep-esque, but cleaner. That's the best way I could describe it if you're into the sad boy music.
Little Bo Peep?
Yeah, Lil Bo Peep.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty good nursery rhyme.
I believe that's actually what his name was intended to be. Lil Peep, the rapper who died. Well, I guess he's not a rapper. Kind of a rapper. Sad boy rapper. Who died because of the fentanyl thing.
Ooh.
Yeah. That happened a really long time ago. Which a lot of people were distraught over, a bunch of people memed about because of how ridiculous his appearance was and stuff like that. It was crazy. But, yeah, check out Sully. He tweeted at me on Twitter when I said I liked his music, and that was nice.
No way, you got actual reach out?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not very well known.
Even so.
Yeah, but it was very cool to hear back from somebody who you admire their music, you know. It was super,
For sure.
super fun.
I decided that I would release some of my music recommendations.
Oh my God, Coop's actually gonna share the music goblin is gonna share his music.
Yeah, I was told that being a music goblin's not cool, so I decided I would give out 3 recommendations to make up for my goblin ways.
Okay.
All right. So we're just gonna start weird right off the get-go. It may not be weird for some people, but maybe just underexposed is probably the better term. And this is the musician Ravi Shankar. He is an Indian musician. He's probably the most famous Indian musician of all time. He was one of the guys that introduced George Harrison to the sitar. So that's why there's a lot of like Indian crossover in some Beatles songs, because they would like party together. But Ravi Shankar is actually really sick. He's got really great music, so I definitely recommend that as like your gateway into Indian music.
Okay.
The next is Epica. I just really like instrumental music, and Epica is really sick. Like every song they play sounds like a video game theme song or fight song, and that's 10 of 10. And then some 1930s jazz. My boy Benny Goodman. He's a clarinetist and a big band leader. So if you like the clarinet or sounds like wind instrument sounds, then you'll really like Benny.
I feel like I've heard of Benny Goodman before.
Yeah.
Has he done any soundtracks for anything?
A lot of those guys had their music featured in movies.
Okay, yeah, because I could have sworn I've heard, like, I feel like that's like a household name and something that I really like.
It is, yeah, it's more household than, say, you know, Marty Shaw or something.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for sharing. I guess I can't call you a music goblin anymore.
Well, I mean, until next episode where I decide not to share again.
Right. Well, speaking of sharing, I would like for you to share with everybody some of your pet peeves.
I don't think they're ready for this.
I'm not.
Alright. Well, you may... Yeah, I think you'll probably recognize a couple of these. I would say my number one pet peeve is having to repeat the same thing more than twice. So, like, I say something, and then I have to say it again. You know, maybe because you misheard it. But if I have to say that thing a third time, I'm just beyond fucking tilted. So, like, communication, we're meant to be, like, heard and, like, respected. So, on the third time, I know I'm not getting that from that person, and that's really frustrating. And then when you are communicating something to somebody that they're needing, they're, like, asking for some information, but they keep interrupting you. That's really upsetting. I'm like, you know, I could give you the information you are asking for if you'd STFU and let me finish.
Also extremely awkward. What the hell? Who does that?
I have no idea, but it happens to me on a daily basis. And then individuals that inconvenience other people because they think that like their emergency constitutes an emergency on my part.
Mm-hmm.
So this typically I experience like while I'm driving, I would say is the time that I experience it the most. But like, people that are just like darting in and out and like they're not putting on their signal or they're like right before like a merge or a highway split and they're like freaking out to get over because they didn't plan well enough ahead of time and they're just like, oh shit, let me get over, and then you have to be like, oh my god, I'm boxed in, can't let you get in.
Right.
So yeah, those are my 3 pet peeves.
I get extreme road rage when I drive, especially
Me too.
especially here in Pennsylvania. Oh my lord. I'm from the south. We all drive relatively fast. It's kind of like if we all go fast, they can't arrest all of us kind of thing. You know? And
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
right. And in California, it's the same thing. Like when you get on and you merge onto the highway, you're going at least the speed limit, you know? You don't merge onto the highway at 40 miles an hour.
What do you mean? Why not?
You're gonna get squished by a semi-truck. But here, they do. And it's beyond tilting. They not only do they merge onto the highway at 40 miles an hour, it's your problem to make sure you don't hit them. They don't merge into you, they expect you to merge in with them. And it's ludicrous. I can't handle it. I can't handle Pennsylvania drivers. If you're from Pennsylvania, I'm sorry, but you probably suck at driving. Big pet peeve.
It seems like drivers are just bad literally everywhere you go. And I don't know if that's a result of people just taking easier and easier driving tests or
yeah,
they just don't care to like pick up the skill.
Well, I lived in California for like 5 to 7 years, and my entire thing there is like, especially on a 2-lane highway or something, which is kind of rare in California. Anyway, if you do manage to find a 2-lane highway, the people who drive really slow are in the right lane. In Pennsylvania, the people who drive really slow are in both lanes, and they're going the same speed, and they're not passing each other. So you're forced to, it's just, my road rage, I have to do breathing exercises, I have to listen to Bach, I have to chill out, because pretty soon I'm going to install a battering ram onto my car and just push people off the road.
Once you do this, please, just mount the camera onto your dash because
Right.
this will be, internet gold.
And we already know about some of my other pet peeves, like chewing with your mouth open, breathing obnoxiously when you eat, stuff like that. Really gross sounds. I don't like those. But I guess a more normal pet peeve of mine is definitely when people have selective hearing and you say something and they instinctively ask, what? And you go to repeat yourself, but they heard you. Why are you asking me what? Just take the time to process what I said before things leave your mouth. That's all I ask. Thank you. Have a nice day.
I think you're asking too much.
Yeah. I also have another quirk about me, which is weird, which is a pet peeve. I'm a music snob. I am one of those people who are like, damn, you listen to shit music, let me blow your mind. Because I know so many bands and so many musical artists of every genre that I can guarantee is better than what most people listen to. Like even pop artists. I'm like, the ones you listen to are trash. Listen to these. Is that normal?
Yeah, that probably. No.
No? Okay. I'm just an
I would
asshole.
say no. Yep. That's what I'm gonna go with because that's the supportive thing to say to you.
Third rate therapy.
Coming in hot, boys.
Right. You think you have better music taste than other people? You're an asshole. Do you don't feel that way ever? Like, let's say somebody's like, I'm super into instrumental music and I listen to the Gallica theme song on repeat. You're not like, dude.
I think that I would just. I think it's about the approach and the way you're saying it. It doesn't sound like your approach is super awesome. It sounds like
It's not.
I can't believe you listened to that trash.
I literally dropped my voice at least 3 octaves, and I say, "Peasant, please do not speak of such music in my presence. Here, have some Coletta." And me and my best friend are the same way about that, because we're like truly music connoisseurs. Like, we go out of our way to like search for new music and the best of each genre we listen to. So he has a spectrum that he covers and I have a spectrum that I cover, and then we share with each other's findings. And we've created this system with our friend Brad where Brad listens to EDM electronic music, and he has like a Song of the Week playlist and stuff like that, and he sends it to Zach and I, and then Zach and I listen to like heavier music, so I listen to post-hardcore, metalcore, stuff like that, and Zach listens to like the really stranger metals like black metal and Viking metal and stuff like that, and he sends it to us, and we have this trifecta of music, and we just like to throw the best of the best at each other, you know?
Yeah, I don't really have any predetermined setup like that.
I do, and it's better than everybody.
It sounds that way. But at least you have 3 individuals inputting into it, and it's not just you inputting into it, because that would be really snobbish.
Yeah, true. It's not like I even, like, nobody has the time to go into every genre and be like, I've listened to I have certain bands that I listen to that have like sub 3,000 plays on Spotify, and then I can't say the same for EDM. Those findings are all Brad, and I can't say that for like avant-garde metal because that's all Zach. So we have this system in place so we actually do listen to like a pre-filtered goodness, and we all like respect each other's standard of our preferred genres, and I like it. I like it a lot.
Sounds way better than what I got going on, which is one person's input and then random discoveries.
Right. A Spotify playlist, right?
No, I don't use Spotify.
No? I like the weekly discovery. I think it's good. That's how I found Coletta. I was really surprised to find it in there.
You're like, ooh,
yeah,
piece of candy?
I was literally like, ooh, a piece of candy. For those that don't know me that well, can you explain what a Blake-ism is?
Well, yes. It's something that is unique to Blake, as you might imagine, but he will say something to like, it's like a plug and play. So like, if some particular occurrence occurs, he will say X wording. So if he comes across something he was not expecting, he will say, ooh, piece of candy. So that would be one of those Blake-isms, and he has very very much many of those.
And they're all super telegraphed, right? Like, you can almost predict what I'll say in any given moment. Right?
Yes.
Uh,
If that situation comes across, I'm almost expecting you to say the ism
right.
versus anything else.
Do you have any favorite Blake-isms?
I would say it's hard to pick a favorite amongst all of the isms that you have.
I like, what do you mean? It's gotta be one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah. There's, what do you mean? I'm the best, or rather, why don't I main this video game character? Which is literally every video game character.
Yeah.
I say it whenever I'm playing. I'm just like, oh man, I need to main this person. It's so funny.
With one playthrough on said character.
Yep, I said it the other day. With my new League of Legends team, I was playing Silas, and I was just like, man, I should main Silas. Nobody laughed, and I was like, oh. Because they don't know it's a Blake-ism.
Right.
But eventually.
Yeah, eventually after you keep saying it, you gotta like lay the groundwork on this new squad of yours.
Yeah, that's true. Did you have any topics you wanted to talk about?
No, I'm lazy and I just prepped on what you sent me.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I like to be honest.
Fair enough. We have a guest coming on the show next podcast, and that would be Miss Boozy Cruzy, who is a primary League of Legends streamer, but variety streamer on Twitch. She is pretty awesome. I've been subscribed to her for, I think, 8 months now. She said we're gonna have a Twitch baby, so I think that means 9 months soon.
I don't know if I would be prepared for that.
I wasn't when she said it on stream. I was like, oh. But yeah, so Boozy Cruzy as a guest on the podcast. I'm super excited.
I thought you were saving that for hashtag end of podcast.
Well,
I mean, yeah. Unless you had another announcement.
No,
Yeah.
that's pretty much that's all I had.
You gotta get better at these teases, huh? Like.
Well, I need to include more topics apparently. I'm dry, mate.
Are you?
No, I mean I can talk about anything
You
really.
can.
So I just wanted to do it. It felt like a good time. I had it in my brain sack, and then I pulled it out. I told my dad about the podcast.
Sometimes that happens. You told your dad about who?
I told my dad about the podcast.
Did he do the listen?
No.
Did he put on his ear biscuits?
I'm probably gonna show him this episode because it won't have any audio issues. So.
You say that.
Heyo, yeah, I say that, and then there's gonna be an echo from your mic into my mic, and it's gonna be great. Eventually, I'll get it.
I mean, I'm all about my voice echoing. Who doesn't want to just hear me 24/7?
Oh, you have a pretty suave voice.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I'm
not gonna say the same about you, though.
Yeah, no, mine's shrill. Dude, I've only ever been complimented on my voice by 2 girls, and they're both batshit insane. So that's my pre-qualifier. If they like my voice, it's not gonna work out.
Yeah, that would be. I guess that would be a bad thing. Yeah.
Anyway, I would like to talk about my dad and the podcast.
Let's do
and
it.
Our conversation that we had. So, I went in and called him after work one day, and he was like, "What's new with you?" And instead of saying my usual, "Literally nothing, Dad. I just work and die," I said that I started a podcast with you. And he was like, "Oh, that's really neat. I want to start a podcast with my friend about golf." And I was like, "No way. That's so weird. It's almost like you're a big me."
Why is that weird?
Because we're really similar. Um, I'm a tad more goofier. Sorry, Dad. I beat you in that. But yeah, so he wants to start a golf cast with his friends. So I'm gonna give him some pointers about how not to botch your audio. 10 out of 10.
I mean, if you just give him that one, he's already going to be light years ahead of us, right?
Right. Absolutely. I love it. I can't wait. I'm not into golf. He tried to get me into golf when I was little. Didn't work out. It's boring to me. Sorry if I offended you. That was very insensitive of me. Let me take back those words. Golf's okay. um, but yeah, I would like to hear him and his friend talk about golf because he's kind of like you in the sense that he can get very analytical and really know what he's talking about when he does technical terms and all that good jazz. But he is a big me, so it's interesting to see that. And I think it would be cool to watch. So later, maybe I'll be able to plug my dad's podcast.
Yeah, because that would bring his, listen/view count up to like at least 8.
Yeah. I mean, we got surprisingly the pilot episode got more views than episode 1. So the internet's weird in that kind of way.
I mean, I would listen to a pilot before episode 1 as well.
Yeah, but I would also listen to episode 1.
Well, I would only listen to episode 1 if I liked what I heard from the rest,
R.I.P. Alright, shutting the shit down. Goodbye.
Shots fired. Let's go.
But I think that's good. I think that's a good place to end the Third Rate Therapy episode 2.
There was nothing else you wanted some therapy on?
I mean, listen, there's a lot. We'll have to wait, okay? I'm a troubled individual. But
yeah, I'm starting to gather that.
Until next time, though, I love you. Goodbye. Alright, Coop, you don't love them. That's fine. You know what?
No,
I'll adopt them. It's cool.
I'm just kind of like keeping that as a running theme. I said, maybe I'll love them next time.
Right.
But after thinking about it, it didn't seem like, the right thing to do.
Damn. Savage. Okay, well, at least we can talk about League of Legends forever, literally.
Yeah, I kind of didn't, put that in my brain together, that they're split podcast again. So I was like, wait, what does he mean he's done? And then I was like, oh.
Yeah.
That's what he means.
Yep.
And then I felt really bad that I didn't do a prep move, to bring something else. So, my bad.
It's all good. We filled in the time. We're fine.
But did we?
Dadcast 2019.